Florence, the gem of Tuscany, is one of the most charming cities in all of Italy. Florence is the perfect place to immerse yourself in history, culture, art, and architecture. In Florence, you have some of the best museums in the world, like the Uffizi and the Galleria dell'Accademia. The city is home to works of such incredible artists such as Leonardo Da Vinci, Raffaello, and Michelangelo, plus beautiful attractions like the Ponte Vecchio and the Boboli Gardens. Florence is a unique blend of history, art, architecture, culture, cuisine, and fashion. The city is the birthplace of the Renaissance, which shaped the transition from the Middle Ages to the modern era. When visiting Florence, you can rely on one thing with certainty: a vacation in Florence is an unforgettable experience. Here's your guide to Florence, the gem of Italy. Discover Florence's cathedral, the Santa Maria del Fiore, simply known as the Duomo. This 15th century cathedral is located in the heart of the historic center of Florence. It is eye-popping evidence of the architectural and engineering power of the Renaissance period. The cathedral, designed by Filippo Brunelleschi more than 500 years ago, dominates the city of Florence. Its looming terracotta tiled dome was built without the use of a wooden support structure, and is still today the biggest self-supporting masonry dome in the world. The cathedral's spectacular white, pink, and green marble exterior is a memorable sight, with intricately carved stonework, statues, and frescoes. The interior is equally stunning, with marble floors and walls, stained glass windows, and frescoes. This amazing cathedral offers two more unique experiences. You can climb the 414 steps up to the bell tower, or the 463 steps up to the dome, and enjoy breathtaking panoramic views. Wander the Piazza della Signoria. The piazza is the W-shaped main square in Florence. It is an energetic plaza where locals and visitors alike gather to socialize and people watch. Take your time to stroll this historical place, rich in culture and art. After admiring the Piazza della Signoria's historical treasures, relax in one of the many restaurants and cafes. Enjoy a drink or a delicious meal. For centuries, the piazza has been the political and social center of Florence, rooted in history and filled with significant sculptures and buildings. Striking sculptures such as the Fountain of Neptune, an impressive marble fountain depicting the Roman sea god Neptune. Buildings like the commanding Palazzo Vecchio with its fortress-like appearance and imposing tower. Since 1872, the Palazzo housed the office of the Mayor of Florence and is the seat of the City Council. Besides its political role, large parts of the Palazzo is now a museum. Immediately upon entering the Palazzo, you travel back in time when the powerful Medici family ruled Florence. The Palazzo Vecchio's interior amazes with beautiful frescoes, lavish chambers, and ornate decorations on walls and ceilings, all testimony to the history of the Medici dynasty. The Palazzo Vecchio is a must-see destination and undoubtedly an unforgettable part of any Florence experience for Italian history and art fans. or the Loggia dell'Anzi, next to the Palazzo Vecchio. The loggia was built between the years 1370 and 1380 for public assemblies and ceremonies. But in the 1500s, this changed, and the loggia was used to house guards. Some of them were the Landsknecht, German-speaking mercenaries, or in Italian, the Lanzechenecci, the origin of the name Loggia dell'Anzi. The front of the Loggia dell'Anzi is an open-air gallery displaying remarkable Renaissance sculptures. Explore the Uffizi Gallery. The Uffizi Gallery is among the most famous and significant art museums in the world, attracting millions of visitors every year. The gallery occupies the entire first and second floors of the large building, designed and constructed by Giorgio Vasari between the years 1560 and 1580. The Uffizi is located at the Piazza della Signoria, next to the Loggia dell'Anzi, and is famous for its outstanding collections of ancient sculptures and paintings from the Middle Ages to the modern period. Uffizi's collections include works by master artists like Beato Angelico, Filippo Lippi, Botticelli, Mantegna, Correggio, Leonardo, Raffaello, and Michelangelo. The Galleria dell'Accademia is yet another renowned must-see museum in Florence. Many of the fine works of art were donated to the Grand Duchy of Tuscany, the last of the powerful Medici family, so that these magnificent pieces of art could be preserved and enjoyed by everyone. The main area of the Accademia presents works by great Italian artists from the 1300s to the 1600s. Artists such as Sandro Botticelli, Pontormo, Andrea del Sarto, and Alessandro Allori, to name just a few of the painters. However, the Accademia is best known for its impressive collection of Michelangelo sculptures, among them the original sculpture of David. The most recent addition to this remarkable museum is reserved for the display of old musical instruments, like one-of-a-kind masterpieces by Stradivari. Visit the 1,000-year-old Basilica San Miniato al Monte. Basilica San Miniato al Monte is located at one of the highest points in the city, south of the Piazzale Michelangelo. The basilica is known as one of the finest Romanesque structures in Tuscany and one of the most scenic churches in Italy. San Miniato, removed from the hustle and bustle of the city, is an oasis of calm with amazing Gothic art and unsurpassed views. The perspective over the city is absolutely stunning. Walk up to the Piazzale Michelangelo. A visit of the Piazzale is one experience that should not be missed, as it never fails to capture the hearts and imagination of those who walk the steep hill to the very top. Piazzale Michelangelo Terrace is built on a hill over Florence on the south side of the River Arno and overlooks a spectacular panoramic view of the city below, including the Cathedral Santa Maria del Fiore and the Basilica di Santa Croce, the Palazzo Vecchio, Ponte Vecchio, and the Arno River. And right in its center, the Piazzale Michelangelo also features a bronze replica of Michelangelo's David. The scenery is especially enchanting under the warm glow of Florence's magical sunset. The Palazzo Pitti, completed in 1465, is a lavish Renaissance palace that served once as the residence of the rich and powerful Medici family, and later for the Grand Dukes of Tuscany. Now the palace hosts numerous museums, including the Palatine Gallery, where a remarkable collection of Renaissance and Baroque art is on display. Adjacent to the palace lies the magnificent Boboli Gardens. Despite being perhaps the most significant Italian garden, it is more than an exquisite green space. The Boboli Gardens is the greatest open-air museum in Florence. Originally designed for the Medici, it was opened to the public in 1766. The Boboli Gardens embodies the beauty of Italian gardens and served as inspiration for many European royal gardens, in particular Versailles. The garden features centuries-old oak trees, an array of sculptures and fountains, picturesque pathways, a juncture between nature and art. The Central Market, or San Lorenzo Market, is an inside-outside food and leather market. On the inside's main floor, you have the food market offering traditional food, the most delicious meat, seafood, and produce. And most of it is, of course, local, plus excellent wines and spirits. The top floor is occupied by a food hall, offering yummy local dishes and drinks, so sit down and enjoy. But beware, this place is usually very busy. Visit the Basilica di Santa Croce, also known as the Basilica of the Holy Cross. It is the largest Franciscan church in the world and associated with St. Francis of Assisi, and Italy's patron saint since 1939. The basilica is situated on the Piazza di Santa Croce, about 800 meters southeast of the Duomo. The basilica housed the graves and mortal remains of many influential figures from Florence's past to keep their memory alive for posterity. The basilica's interior is beautifully decorated with impressive antique frescoes, sculptures, and paintings. Yet, for many visitors, the main attraction of this church are the tombs and memorials of prominent historical figures such as Michelangelo, Galileo, Niccolò Machiavelli, and others. Stroll the Ponte Vecchio, or Old Bridge, a historic bridge completed in 1345. Besides the Duomo, the Ponte Vecchio is easily the city's most recognizable landmarks today. This distinctive medieval bridge spans the Arno River in the historic heart of Florence, between the Palazzo Pitti and Boboli Gardens on the southwest side, and the Piazza della Signoria on the northeast side of the Arno. Ponte Vecchio is famed for its little stores lining both sides of the bridge. Back in the old days, it was primarily butchers and farmers that occupied the shops. Nowadays, only jewelry, art, and souvenirs are sold on the bridge. A stroll of the Ponte Vecchio should not be missed by any visitor. Join Florence residents for an evening stroll along the Arno River. The Arno divides the heart of the historic city center of Florence, which are connected by a series of scenic bridges. Both sides of the Arno are lined with picturesque historic buildings, painted in pastel colors and covered with terracotta tile roofs.